Make lists. Routine. Keep a diary. Accept help. Be realistic. Hi, this video is going to be my tips on how to organize your life with a baby. We all know that as soon as you have a baby, your time for yourself goes out of the window and there is no perspective of getting it back. And I struggled for many months trying to find time to do things that I needed to do. Not necessarily even things for myself, but just general things to get done, like shower and just generic things really, cook and eat and things like that. So I thought I would do this little chatty video on how I'm managing my life a little bit better. I'm not where I want to be yet with time to do things, but I think things will fall into place with time and as James gets a bit older. But I think I have a few tips to share of things that I've learned, maybe through experience of not doing them or from learning from other people as well. My first tip is make lists. If you're not a list maker, if you've never been a list maker, become one. It will save your life because you need a lot of things, and lists make sure that things get done and nothing gets overlooked. So I've always been a list maker, but I've never used them in a way that was effective. Nowadays, I make a list in the beginning of the day of everything I want to do. It doesn't matter if one of these things is clean your teeth. Whatever needs to get done, put it on one list. That's how it works for me. If you have a different way in which you prefer to organize your lists, do what works for you, but this is what works for me. Changing from making lots of separate little lists of things into one big list of things to do has made my life a lot more productive, because instead of trying to keep up with all these different lists, now I keep up with one list. And I usually put things in order of priority on the list, so whatever I need to get done first goes top of the list, and whatever can wait a bit longer, maybe I won't get it done by the end of that day or even by the end of that week, but it still needs to get done, so it'll go to the bottom of the list. It usually starts with open eyes. No, I'm joking. Lists will keep you in check. It will make sure that you don't forget to do the important things. The second thing that goes hand in hand is a routine. That is a crucial part of a mummy life, I think. When you have a baby, if you don't have a routine, you don't get any time for yourself because things are just unpredictable, up in the air. You will never know when to expect a nap so that you can have a shower, eat, relax, sleep. So then routine saves your life because you know when to expect things. You know how much time you've got until the next nap, how much time you've got until lunchtime. How long has it been since my baby last napped? Is he tired now? If you look at the last nap time, you will know that it's been about 2 hours, so in about half an hour he's going to start to get grizzly and you've got to put him down. So routine is so important. What helped me to get James into a routine first was looking for routines online, just like age related. I think it was about 4 months old that I started doing routines for James. I just looked online for 4-month-old baby routines, 5-month-old baby routines, and just adapted them to our lives. First it was kind of trial and error and a lot of them didn't work for us, but we finally found something that worked for us. Although we are in the process of changing that routine because he's changed again and we are like drawing up a new routine for him, it's always been helpful in order to get things done. My third tip is to keep a diary. By keeping a diary, I don't mean anything sophisticated that will take a lot of your time. I keep a diary for James on my iPhone, on my notes, and I have done since he was born. So what I do is I start a fresh note every week, and then day by day I write down the things that happened that day and when they happened. So usually what I try to put down is naps, and maybe bottles of food if they happened at a different time, and anything unusual that happened that day. So when James cut his first tooth, I wrote that down on the particular day. When James had a bad tummy, I wrote it down, and I wrote down what he ate that day. When he had a fever, I wrote that down. If he had any medicine, I put that down as well. But usually it's just nap times, trying to keep track of sleeping and wakings because that's our hurdle at the moment. But for example, if you're struggling with meal times, I would write that down as well. If you're struggling with bottles, I would write that down. Basically anything that your baby does that you want to keep track of and that you want to have a record because you're trying to kind of get yourself into a routine. Things become more predictable when you look at the pattern, week by week, day by day, how things are happening. So yeah, definitely recommend doing a diary. My next tip goes hand in hand with everything that I said before. Don't rely on your memory. Write everything down. As a mummy, you've got so much to remember, and I would never rely on my memory. I have rubbish memory anyway, but now I have even more things to remember. So I write everything down, and that just helps so much because it takes the load off my brain. When I have something that I have to constantly keep reminding myself, it kind of drives me a bit insane because it kind of mixes everything up. So I just write everything down. The moment that something comes to my mind that I've got to remember it, I write it down. Next tip is to prioritize, and that might be a given. Obviously you're going to do what's important first, but I'm talking about prioritize with yourself as well and with your baby. For example, if you know that you're going to go out later that day, I personally would do my makeup during the first nap of baby, because I know that if my makeup is done, then I can just put on any clothes, dress him up, and we'll be ready to go, instead of then thinking when it's time for us to go, I don't have time to do my makeup. Think about things in terms of priorities. What's the priority today? If you've got something really important, let's say that you have like 3 days worth of laundry accumulated that you need to get done, prioritize. Do that first. Maybe you won't be able to get done something else that you wanted to get done that day, but that priority will get done. Another tip, be realistic. That's so important, and it's something that I need to practice a bit more often. Don't give yourself too many things to do in the day. Sometimes you will only get done one thing in the whole day, especially if you look after your baby by yourself at home. Sometimes you won't get anything done. So be realistic. Don't say that you're going to do all the laundry, all the washing up, all the ironing and scrubbing and hoovering, because you might not get all of that done, and if you don't, you're going to get disappointed. Start small. Give yourself one task. Then increase to 2 if you can. If you're having a particularly busy day, don't give yourself any tasks, just take the day as it comes. And I guarantee that you'll feel so much more organised and a lot better about yourself. Another tip will be to accept help. If people are offering, they mean it and they're there to help you. If you have friends and family, they're offering to help you, accept it. You need it, and you can make the most of your time then. If people are helping you do something, either with baby or housework or whatever it is, accept help. The next thing is to use your time wisely. Since having a baby, I've learned the hard way that time goes by too quickly, so use it wisely. If your baby naps for 20-30 minutes like my baby and no longer than that, get something done during those 30 minutes. Don't go on Instagram and sit down forever just browsing your feed, because before you know it, that cry will come and you're gonna have to go and do everything all over again for the next 2 or 3 hours. So use your time wisely. Save browsing Instagram for when your baby is in bed, that you know you can get a good chunk of time, uninterrupted time. Don't go and boil the kettle and make a cup of tea before you do something important. Do it after. 5 minutes your baby will be awake and you're not going to drink your tea hot and you're not going to do what you need to do. So go and do what you need to do first, and then if you have time, have your cuppa. My last tip is give yourself a pat on the back. I know that's not going to help you organize your life with a baby, but it will help make you feel better about your life with a baby. Congratulate yourself when you get things done. It's hard work. It's difficult being a mummy. Days are not long enough. They're tiring, exhausting. You feel like you're losing everything, that you're on the edge all day, every day. So when you get something done, give yourself a pat on the back. If you manage to get all the laundry done in a day, well done you. That's a lot, and it's important that you give yourself credit for the hard work that you're doing. Have a glass of wine at the end of the day and say, well done, I got through today. That definitely helps me, keeping me motivated to face the next day, especially when I'm having particularly difficult days with James. So yeah, congratulate yourself. So these are my tips for organizing your life with a baby, and these are things that have helped me. If you have any tips for organizing your life with a baby, please leave them on the comments below. I'd love to hear them. And if you would like to subscribe to my channel, I would be very grateful. There's a little button down there that says subscribe. It's free and you'll get notified whenever I upload a new video. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you very soon. Bye!